As you may or may not know, my wife and I just got back from Vegas. It was a great trip. We ate, we drank, we had a blast. But then we got home and looked at the credit card, and I gotta say, it doesn't matter how much fun you're having, $25 for a drink is a ripoff. Frickin' Vegas. I hate getting ripped off, and so do the lads over at Harry's. They spent years watching the razor blade companies rip people off and said, no more. Not all heroes wear capes, my friends, and they want to prove that they're legit by offering you hot dogs a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. I've been telling you about them for months, and I'm genuinely proud to have Harry's as a sponsor of this show. I wasn't kidding. The plastic, futuristic-looking crap razors you get at the store are overpriced and they're poor quality. Harry's blades are crisp, clean, and classy. They're the kind of razor you'd expect your grandpa to have on his bathroom counter. And most importantly, they work. Shave after shave, they're so smooth, they're precise. I used to go through the crappy store blades all the time, but Harry's are built to last. And they're not just better quality than the other names, they're more affordable. And they deliver. Just set your schedule, and for as little as $2, new blades, shaving creams, lotions, everything you need, right to your door when you need it. I genuinely cannot think of a reason not to try Harry's. And I'm not just saying this because they're sponsors. They're the best shaving supplies I've ever used. Try them out, and if you're not happy, your shave's on them. And unlike the other subscriptions, they're really easy to cancel if you want to too, which is a nice bonus, but believe me, you're not going to want to cancel. Getting ripped off isn't funny. Switch to Harry's. Get started with a $13 trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/RTG. That's harrys.com/RTG for a $3 trial set. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 156, and it's a prestigious Patreon poll winning episode. I feel like the thumbnail to all of our Patreon poll winner episodes should have like a special image on them. Like it should be like a player's choice or something. Remember like PS1 games had that like the green spine when they were player's choice or whatever, best sellers, but then I guess that like devalues them. Yeah, and I guess like our Patreon poll episodes are maybe our most valuable episodes because you guys sponsored the anyway. It doesn't matter. It's a Patreon poll winning episode, and we are talking Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link for the NES. This won our poll back in May, and I usually try to sneak the poll winner in the following month. I need time to actually play the game that wins the poll. And I was planning to sneak Zelda 2 in for the last episode of June, but then the last episode of June was number 155, which is our revisited episode. Every 10 episodes, we revisit an old game, and I ran out of Wednesdays. So here it is. Took a little longer than I planned, but here it is. I played Zelda 2 for the first time, really. I played it a little bit as a kid, but I never really put any serious effort into it. I really just sat down and played Zelda 2 for the first time over the last couple of weeks on my Nintendo Switch. So did my guests this time around. I figured while we're talking the freak of the Zelda family, let's get the freak of the Remember the Game family in here. It's my good friend, Zelda junkie and former Hall of Famer Mark McHugh, who makes his triumphant return to the show. And we talk about, Zelda 2. I'm very conflicted on this game, as you're going to hear this week. There's stuff about this game that I fucking love, and there's stuff about this game that I fucking hate. And Mark felt the same way, and I feel gamers kind of as a whole feel that way. There are people out there that adore this game. There are people out there that hate this game. It's not for everyone. It's an acquired taste of sorts. And we'll get there in just a minute, because speaking of an acquired taste, it's time for yet another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. Thank you very much for listening. Consider this your warning. Our intros have gotten fairly long. They're 35, 40 minutes, but they're fun. It's lots of video game talk and stuff like that. It's not just boring rambling. Well, I mean, it's rambling, but it's not boring rambling. It's good times. Some have said that they actually listen to the intro separately and then crush the game chat portion of the show later, kind of like a drive to work, a drive home. It's like a doggy bag at a restaurant. That's what our show is. Our podcast is the doggy bag of video game podcasts. That's a great way to sum up Remember the Game. And you know what? Speaking of we turned 3 years old this week. July 3rd was episode 1 back in 2018. And over the past 3 years, we've done 156 of these. We've done over 100 additional episodes between Game Patch, Expansion Pass, and The Rambling Idiot. We're at 4 weekly podcasts now, listeners all over the planet. For my money, we have the most positive gaming community on the internet and over 250,000 downloads. Not bad for a podcast that I infamously claimed nobody would listen to when we started. So thank you all so much. I'm happy you're here. I guess I am bragging, but I'm proud of Remember the Game. So thank you. I say it all the time, but we are the weed in the retro gaming podcast garden, and we just keep fucking growing, and we're going to take over the world soon. And if you want to make sure that we keep growing, maybe consider supporting us. You can. We have merchandise, hoodies, t-shirts, coffee mugs, tank tops, all rocking Remember the Game art drawn by my good man Joe over at 4545creative.com. And you can find our merchandise at rememberthegamepodcast.com. That's all our merch is there. If you're interested, it's a great way to support the show. We have some fucking awesome new stuff coming down the pipe sooner rather than later as well. It looks dope. I've been kind of teasing it on Instagram, as has Joe, so you can find it there. And of course, you can always support us over on Patreon. We have well over 300 hot dogs doing just that. It helps keep the light-ons around here. It helps keep the lights on. Nailed it. Around here. And you get a mountain of value for your $2. That's all it is. $2 US per month. You get 2 additional podcasts every week for that. It works out to like fucking 13 cents a podcast or something like, maybe it's a little more than that, but it's not very much. It's very cheap. You get exclusive access to both my gaming news show Game Patch every Friday and my gaming discussion podcast Expansion Pass every Sunday, along with instant access to all the back catalog, literally dozens and dozens and dozens of previous bonus episodes. This past Sunday on Expansion Pass, I reviewed Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart for the PlayStation 5. It is a spoiler-free review. We did tack a short spoiler cast on at the end, but I warn you like 100 times before the spoilers start, so you can listen to it without worry if you have not played the game yet. And as is becoming tradition, here's a sneak peek of last Sunday's episode of Expansion Pass, my Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart review. We've talked so much. Here's my voice crack for the week. We've talked so much about how we need some next-gen exclusive games, about how it's awesome that they're taking all these PS5 games and putting them on PS4 so people can play them, and Xbox and blah, blah. But I feel like we talk about this every week. I want some games that are dedicated to next-gen so that I'm like, this is why I bought this fucking $600 white tower of plastic. It's because there's these certain games that the last-gen hardware just cannot run. And this is that. I think this might be the first true example of that. It's really hard to describe just how impressive and crazy jumping through these rifts and these dimensions, how that mechanic works without actually seeing it first person. It's wild, man. You go into these like portals or tears in the air, whatever you want to call it, and it's just a seamless transition. No load times, not even a stutter, just nothing. Sometimes when you go through them, you go into another dimension entirely. And then when you turn around and look back through that rift, you can see the other level, like the other dimension in real time. So that was last Sunday's episode. And now for this weekend show, I thought, there's my voice crack for the week. I thought we could talk about maybe the rest of 2021. We the first half, admittedly, was a little slow, but the second half is fucking stacked. I was looking at some of the games that I want to play between now and the end of the year. It's fucking wild. So I thought we could kind of, and I know maybe it's hard to keep track of all the release dates and stuff like that. So I thought we could look at what's, tentatively coming between now and New Year's Eve, talk about our most anticipated games, go through them month by month and stuff like that. It could be fun. We're at the halfway point of the year, so let's do something like that. Again, $2. gets you instant access to all those podcasts, plus the new ones, plus access to our Discord, the chance to vote in our Patreon poll every month, the ability to submit comments for all of our podcasts. You can DM with me, and you get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name like I'm about to do to most of these people. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, Psycho Mikey, I Am the Mutt, Juga, Sony Kid Magazine, Joseph Champetti, Brian Sherborne, and Adam Fisher. I feel like there's a chance I didn't mispronounce anything in there, but I probably did. Anyway, thank you very much. Welcome to Remember the Game Industries, patreon.com/Remember the Game. And you can find me on Twitch. If you're interested, my schedule is basically non-existent at this point. I'm just on there when I can get on there. Look for Member the Game over on Twitch, twitch.tv. Member the Game, Tetris Tuesday. Usually we play Tetris 99 on Tuesday, and people are invited to play with me, and you can come by and make fun of me or say hi or whatever you want. It's fun. So just all you got to do is follow. It's completely free. You go to twitch.tv, search for Member the Game, hit follow. It'll tell you when I'm online, and you can come by and give me a hard time if you want to do that. All right? That's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you. Blowing in the cartridge. It is our opening segment on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
All right, let's blow. And our first blower this week is Thomas Simmons, who wrote in on Patreon and said, just wanted to say I work in recycling, and on a rare occasion, I'll come across a functional disc game. The case is mutilated, but the game sometimes works. Last week, I found TMNT for the PlayStation 2. It seems to be a 3D beat-em-up, and I was wondering if you have played it or have any thoughts. It's crazy what people throw away, even crazier when it makes it all the way through the process to me, and the game still works. That's fucking wild. Why throw away a game? If you don't want it, donate it to that goes to everybody. If you don't want it and you can't sell it, or you don't want to go through the hassle of selling it, and GameStop has told you they'll give you 4 cents, and you're like, I don't want your 4 fucking cents. Give it away. Dude, give it to Goodwill. Give it to just some kid. Fucking put it. Dude, if you post it for free, someone will come get it. Give it to someone that'll enjoy it. Why throw the game away? To answer your question, Thomas, is it TMNT? Is that the name of the game and it's based on the movie, that computer animated CGI movie? Or is it Ninja Turtles based on the 2003 cartoon? Because there's a few games from that cartoon on the PlayStation 2 as well. I've played one of the games based on the cartoon, and it was fine. It was a beat 'em up. And I've also played the movie game, which I thought looked really cool, but I found it was like I played through it once and was like, all right, well it was what it was. I like that movie though. I really like that movie actually. We're gonna talk Ninja Turtles on the Rambling Idiot this week, which is one of our, now admittedly, not to sneak in one last Patreon plug, but that one is exclusive to our $5 and $10 Patreons. Everything else is on the $2 tier. Game Patch, Expansion Pass every week. Rambling Idiot is kind of an additional bump, and I talk about stuff that isn't video games. So we're going to get into Ninja Turtles this week on the show. But yeah, so I played one of the cartoon games, and it was good. And then I did play the one based on the CGI movie, and it was okay. Certainly better than throwing it out. I don't know why anyone would throw a video game out. That seems maybe Echo the Dolphin. Anyway, Master Boyd wrote in and said, since we're torturing ourselves watching this Montreal versus Tampa Bay Stanley Cup final, I figured I'd ask you a hockey video game question. I know you've covered hockey games as far back as the NES, but what is your top game? I started playing the EA ones with NHL 2000. The iconic NHL 94 came out when I was 3, so it passed me by. But it all changed when I discovered the NHL Hits games for the PS2 generation. Have you played these? For my money, NHL Hits 2003 is the best hockey video game of all time. I still play it with my buddies to this day. I recently compared it to EA's NHL 2003, and it has way tighter controls. Comparing the fighting is absolutely hilarious. The franchise game tasks that are different in every match, like you must score a one-timer goal, do 10 successful deeds, etc. The RPG-style equipment as items that you assign to certain players, and the outrageous hits make this my favorite multiplayer game, or one of my favorite multiplayer games ever. Good luck to the Habs tonight. Now, Boyd sent that in before Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, where the Montreal Canadiens fucking won in overtime. So Game 5 is Wednesday night, not dead yet. 3 wins away from the Stanley Cup. Yeah, I have played quite a few hockey. Like, I don't play a lot of, I've gotten into baseball in my adult life and Madden, but I never really have gotten into anything basketball. I have played hockey since the NES, since Blades of Steel and ice hockey. What's my favorite hockey game? I'd have to think about that one for a while. I have played NHL Hits. NHL Hits is fucking awesome. I played a lot of NHL 2004, I think it was. I mean, I've played most of the NHL games. They're good. Uh, Mutant League Hockey is fucking right there. Yeah, Mutant League Hockey, NHL Hits, NHL 2004, obviously NHL 94. I like NHL 96 and 97. There's some bad. It'd be easier for me to tell you what my least favorite hockey games are, which is Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey on the N64 and Brett Hall Hockey 95 on the Super Nintendo, which I fucking owned and hated. But yeah, NHL Hits was the shit. I wish they'd bring that franchise back. I can get on board with that. We have 2 Simpsons references. People wrote in about the Simpsons, and I don't just read every Simpsons quote that gets sent in. These both made me laugh, so we're gonna sneak them in, and then we'll go back to video games. Troy wrote in and said, "I'm glad the heat wave across Western Canada is coming to an end. I can finally take down the tent I put up in front of my fridge, put the frozen peas back in the freezer as well. That hot Texas-style ginger ale sure was refreshing." If you get it, you get it. And if you don't, it's fucking good stuff, Troy. Well done. And then they call me Badger wrote in and said, "What's one prank for you that has gone, quote, too far? For me, it has to be the old sugar me do. That sort of stuff will get your caricature removed from Mount Lushmore. Outstanding. These 2 comments just sparked the embers of my long rumored Remember the Simpsons quote podcast idea. Oh God. So if you're not a Simpsons fan, look up Simpsons Heat Wave and Homer banned from Moe's. And those 2 quotes will make sense. They're each only like a minute long. Great clips. I love the snake in the cash register, that they fucking hide a snake in his cash register. They light Moe on fire, and those are all funny. But then Homer loosens the top on the sugar and gets thrown out of the bar for life. It's good stuff. Good. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I didn't mean to I didn't mean to derail the show, but I'm such a sucker for random Simpsons quotes. We actually have a channel in our Discord that's just dedicated to random Simpsons quotes. I fucking love it. Good stuff, Badger. Good stuff, Troy. And now back to the wall. Dan Taylor wrote in and said, "Hey, Adam, how do you feel about artificial difficulty or difficulty in general in video games? I'm a self-proclaimed lover of hard games, but I think there's definitely a distinct difference for how a challenge can be made fun. For example, I adore a challenging game such as Dark Souls, which is built around trial and error and getting better, or Super Meat Boy, as even though you die a lot, you restart instantly. But I find that if I play a game with difficulty settings on the hardest difficulty, I just find it frustrating and uninteresting. Do you think there could be potential problems in the future with games being hard for the sake of being hard and not actually designed with this difficulty in mind?" I mean, sure. I won't lie to you. I like hard games as well, particularly your Celestes, your Super Meat Boys, The Messenger, stuff like that. I feel like it's a little bit less of a problem now than it was back in the day, because at least now it's optional. Like, I don't play a lot of games set to the highest difficulty because I agree. I just find it frustrating and I get pissed off and I'm like, this sucks. But like in the NES days and stuff like that, there were a ton of games where there was no difficulty settings. There was one setting and that setting was bend over. Like, that was the only way that you got to play those games, was you just got fucking railed by them. And at least now, like, you can choose to set them to normal. I usually play on normal or hard. I don't go up to like insanity or fucking whatever, because I don't have the patience. I'll just get pissed off. I don't know. I mean, I don't think, I don't think that there's a potential problem with it, because I think it's optional. You don't have to set it to the highest difficulty. And I do think there are certain games like Dark Souls, like Super Meat Boy, that are designed specifically around being difficult, but the developers know that and have made the game work properly with it. Whereas, like, yeah, retro games are the fucking problem, man. You go back and try to play some of those old games today, and it's just, there's no way around it. It's just, there's only one option, and it's you'll fucking die. And then when you die, you have to start the whole fucking game over instead of going back to a checkpoint. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my take, is I actually feel like it's getting better. But for some reason, like, there's always going to be, like, and I love that. Dude, I wish, like I've always said, I wish Pokemon came with, like, a hard mode. You know, I know that Pokemon's not going to be the most difficult game in the world, but I wish that you could set it to where opponents would play a little bit more, like the computer-controlled opponents, part of me, will play a little bit more strategically and play to your weaknesses and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, at least I hope that it stays that way. But as long as they make it an option, then I'm all for it. Go as hard as you fucking... Dude, if you want to put in... There's some games where, like, you can't die once. If you die once, you have to start the whole game over, and the game is, like, 10, 15 hours long. I have no problem with that as long as it's completely optional. You know, that's just me. Because I agree. I like difficulty as well, as long as it's difficulty done properly, which I feel like more of the really difficult games these days do. So... and oh fuck, go! I know I rail on it a lot, but fuck, I hate that game. Go back and play Echo the Dolphin, and fuck it. There's your difficulty. Fuck that game. Fuck, I hate it so much. Sony Kid Magazine wrote in and said, "I finally signed up for Patreon after listening for 4 months steady. Thank you, Sony Kid." Sony Kid continues, "This is the most original and best retro game podcast around. You inspired me, and I even have my 9 and 7-year-old listen to you in the car." So I just. Thank you, Sony Kid. I appreciate the support, and I'm glad you're enjoying the show, and good luck in your future endeavors. I'm just going to throw that disclaimer out one more time. I'm not going to tell people not to let their kids listen. Several of you have written in and said you do listen to the show with your kids, but I can't be held legally responsible should your kid go to school and say what they hear on the show and then get expelled. And instead of becoming the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, they end up washed up dancer. Okay. And that's Simpsons reference. I'm not saying any of your kids are going to be exotic dancers. All right. The point being, I appreciate that. And shout out to any kids that are listening to this. Hi, you junior hot dogs. Thank you. Please don't say anything I say to your teachers or your parents or, well, I mean, you could probably say it to a couple of your friends, but that's it. All right. That's all. And, thank you for showing respect to the old video games. Well, us old timers appreciate you. A couple more here. Dave McGee wrote in and said, with Sony's new acquisition of Housemarque and Microsoft's most recent purchase of Nuance, are you concerned that more and more smaller independent companies are going to keep getting bought up, risking hurting the indie game market? I've just gotten into indie games within the past year or so, and I'm really enjoying it. I would hate to see this market take a hit. No, I don't think so, Dave. I mean, who knows? We don't know. You know, I feel like we've talked about in the past how I think Game Pass is incredible, and I think it's going to change video games forever. I know there are other people that are concerned that maybe it's not good for the business, and we won't know till 5, 6, 10 years down the road, you know, until we see what the long-term effects of it are. But I mean, and I've shouted this podcast out before, but I'm going to continue to do so. Last Stand Media, which is Colin Moriarty, formerly of IGN and Kind of Funny, they have an Xbox podcast called Defining Duke, and they did an episode where they interviewed a game developer, and I can't remember the game developer's name, but they're a smaller company from somewhere over in Europe, and they were talking about signing a deal with Game Pass and how they're bringing their games to Game Pass. And this isn't about Game Pass, but the point is, he mentioned that with these big developers, with these bigger publishers like a Microsoft or a Sony or even a Nintendo getting involved with these small developers, they usually foot the development cost of these indie games. And the developer that they were talking to revealed that like 9 out of 10 game developers don't even make their money back, which is why so many studios make 1 game or 2 games, usually those crap games we always make fun of, and then you never hear from them again because they don't make any money. And so I think that this is great that a company like a Sony or a Microsoft is out buying up these small studios, assuming that they let them continue to be free and make the games that they want to make. That's taking some of the risk off of a company like a Housemarque and letting them take more chances because they know that the check is going to be signed by a Sony in this case, or by a Microsoft if you're a studio that's signed with Microsoft. So I think that seeing some of these indie developers getting bought up could help the indie market because there's no more financial risk for them and they can do what they want to do without the worry that they have to. To me, the genius of indie gaming is there's creative ideas and there's a little bit more originality and ingenuity in indie games that you don't see in the big AAA games. Because if you're sinking 8 or 9 figures into a big AAA video game, it's really hard to just try something completely off the wall and different. Because if it doesn't hit, you've lost tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. When it's an indie game with a much smaller development budget, you can kind of take a few more chances because there's less risk if it doesn't work out. Having said that, if you're Housemarque, for example, the developer of Returnal, who previously only made smaller games, they just signed with PlayStation. PlayStation bought them. And so if you're Housemarque, you're like, well, now we don't have to worry about making sure that the lights will stay on if our next big chance fails because Sony is offering to take that risk. So I think this could be great for indie gaming, assuming companies like your Sonys and your Microsofts keep their fingers out of the pool, out of the pie. If they just say, yo, we bought you to make what you make. We will foot the bill. We just want your game on our system. You know what I mean? Like, I think it could be great for indie gaming to see them get a little bit of help. I'll be honest with you, as a stand-up comedian, it's hard because we don't have a guaranteed paycheck. We have to go out and find our paychecks. And certain comedians, you know, they sign with big national clubs or with certain bookers and certain agencies and stuff like that. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off of them because now they know their rent is going to be paid every month. And that's how I feel it's going to go with these indie developers, with the caveat being, much like a comedian that signs with an agent, you don't expect that agent to come in and be like, drop this joke, this joke, this joke, start telling jokes about airplane food and Donald Trump, like the hacky stuff. If these bigger companies are buying up these small indie developers and telling them, yo, keep going crazy, we'll just foot the bill for you, that's great. If they buy them up and say, okay, welcome aboard, drop this crazy, ingenuitive fucking tree simulation-y game, whatever it is you're making right now, and go work on some DLC for Call of Duty, then that's horrible. So it's potentially great, and I think it's going to go in that way. Because, I mean, like, when Xbox bought Bethesda and ZeniMax, they told them, like, they've said, and I believe them many times, they're like, we don't know how to make their games. We didn't buy them to tell them how to make their games. We bought them because we want their games. And so hopefully that's what these developers are doing. So I think it could be great for indie gaming, quite frankly. And there's so many studios out there too that, like, for everyone that gets bought up, there's 20 out there making games. So I, as an indie game like super fan, I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. I think this is great for them. Very long answer that didn't have to be close to that long. Finally, one last letter before we move on, and it's letter time. It's letter time. And Andrew Wright wrote in and said, Adam, I gotta say, I'm a little bummed out about the new Mario Golf game. The ho-hum mechanics aside, I'm really disappointed Nintendo released what feels like a game that's halfway finished. The variety and character selection is solid, but when you think about all the different places Mario has been over the last 35 years, this game releases with only 6 courses? Imagine a golf game that featured courses based exclusively on Mario Odyssey. It would have been incredible. Obviously, it's great for Nintendo to say they're going to support this game down the line, but I can't help but feel like Nintendo is purposely withholding content for future release. We've already seen the new Donk City as, quote, additional content before we could even play the game. I know many of us who listen to Remember the Game are fans of Nintendo, but what are your thoughts about Nintendo taking this tactic with a game that they're releasing at full price? So, to talk about the new Donk thing and the courses, Nintendo has come out and said they're going to support Mario Golf Super Rush with more content down the road. To the best of my knowledge, and if I'm wrong, I should have maybe Googled this before the podcast. Is that going to be free? Or is that going to be paid DLC? Yeah, so as revealed in Nintendo's E3 2021 Direct, Mario Golf Super Rush will get DLC in the form of free characters and courses added post-release. So I have a little bit less of a problem with them dropping as something like a new Donk City course when it's going to be free. That doesn't bother me quite as much as if they were to say, like, oh, hey, here's 6 courses, and we're going to take them to Hyrule, and we're going to take them to, you know, Donkey Kong's Forest, and here's New Donk City, and there's going to be a Mario Kart course, but they're going to cost you $7 each. Like, the fact that they're going to be free, I definitely have less of a problem. I do agree with you, Andrew, that I feel like this game was released before it was ready. It's polished. It works fine. I just think it's boring, frankly. I think Nintendo's got a glut of games coming out in the fall, and I think that they were like, we need to get this game out now so that we have something to kind of keep our Switch above water over the summer and give people something to play. And so this new Donk City, which maybe was intended to be included with the game right off the gate, will just be given to you later. I don't know. I have no insider info. That's what I think they're doing. They might be released. Maybe they had intentions to release it later all along. And I know for a fact that there are companies that do this because it keeps you from selling the game. They're like, well, you won't get rid of it if we keep giving you more content. Having said that, I bought the game brand new the day it came out, and I sold it about 4 days ago because there's just nothing here. And so my problem is less with them including additional content later because it's free. I don't have as much of a problem with that. But I do feel like Nintendo has kind of gotten, I don't think lazy is the word. I think lazy is disrespectful because there's a lot of work put into this game. But they're really trying to, I feel like they're really trying to appeal to everybody. And I get that. There's 90 million Switches out there. Players, that are 4 or 5 years old, right up to fucking players in their 70s and 80s, I'm sure. And you want to appeal to everybody. And I get that. But like, I do feel like Nintendo's had a reputation forever of being like the kid system, being the kiddie system, right? And stuff like this doesn't help. And I've talked about this before. All the previous Mario Golf games, you tap A to get your power meter started. You tap A near the end of that power meter to tell them how hard you want to hit the ball. Then the meter comes back to where it started, and you have to tap A and try to line the bar up with the exact point it started to hit your ball as accurately as possible. And the further you go to one side or the other of where the bar started, the more you slice your ball to the left or the right or what have you. And in this case, you literally hit A to start it, hit A to stop it. And you can put backspin and front spin on it and stuff like that. But I feel like this is just another example of them dumbing down mechanics, for lack of a better term, to try to appeal to the masses. And yeah, I don't like that. Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch. I thought the core gameplay of Mario Tennis Aces was great. But there wasn't a lot there, and I could never find a match online. So I was like, well, then there's no reason for me to fucking keep this. That's my problem with Nintendo, is I feel like they're, again, lazy is not the word, but I just feel like they're really just dumbing down their games to try to make them accessible to everyone. And they're doing that, and I'm sure that they are accessible to everyone, but they're doing it at the price of losing some hardcore fans like myself who are just like, well, this is boring. I don't want to, like, this kind of sucks. So I don't have a problem with them adding content for free. That doesn't bother me. And I know maybe I'm in the wrong, or not the wrong, in the minority there, but that doesn't bother me. But these watered down easy games are just, I mean, maybe this is what Nintendo's going to be moving forward. Like, I'll tell you, like, Paper Mario last year, almost great. I fucking hated it because they got rid of the leveling system and experience points. And again, I'm positive that's to try to make it accessible to more people. And I was like, well, you've made this too easy. Mario Golf is too easy. But if they make them too difficult, then they're going to lose everyone that's, too young or too old, and they're a business. I mean, we're going to do an episode of Expansion Pass soon about Nintendo. Because I love them so much, but sometimes they just make it so fucking hard to love them. So I hope that answers your question, Andrew. I feel like I'm kind of just going around in circles, but if you haven't bought Mario Golf Super Rush yet, just do your homework first. Read some reviews. I don't think it's horrible, but if you're going into it expecting Mario Golf from the GameCube or even Mario Golf from the 3DS, you're not going to get it. That's what I would say. It's just, you might be better off playing one of those old ones instead. All right? Except that they're not fucking available anywhere anymore because it's Nintendo, blah, 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 blah. All right. Good enough. Thank you to everyone that wrote in this week. I appreciate it very much. Let's change things up and let's get into our smash hit segment. Play one, remake one, erase one. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week, I give our listeners 3 retro video games. They can play one as it was released, they can remake one as a modern title, and the third game is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. And we'll get there in a minute because a lot of you fucked up this week. I'm a little hot, and we're going to get there in a second. This week, as we were just talking about the letter time segment, Mario Golf Super Rush is on a lot of people's tongues. And it got me longing for the GameCube era of Mario Sports, where they were so good. So I picked 3 of the best. Our contenders this week are Mario Power Tennis, Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, and Super Mario Strikers, all for the Nintendo GameCube. And according to the poll, the runaway answer this week, I think with the biggest win ever, almost 45% of you voted to play Mario Golf, remake Mario Soccer, erase Mario Tennis. 45 fucking percent of you erased Mario Power Tennis. Well, that means that a lot of you are on 45% of double secret fucking probation because you do not erase Mario Power Tennis. I adore that game. I'm fucking hot right now. I don't know if you all knew how much I love this game and thought it would be funny to just fuck with me, or if you all genuinely just have no fucking taste, but that rattled me. I am not impressed with any of you, right? Well, at least not 45 fucking percent of you. Let's call out some of the wrong answers before I tell you the right answer. 45% erase Mario Power Tennis. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. A lot of you are on my shit list in fucking pen. Not even in pencil. You're locked in. Go. Fuck me. Makeshift Money wrote in, and so this one makes me even angrier. It said, play golf because it's aged the best of the three. Remake soccer because it has a better NES, or because a better NES soccer game was possible. Erase tennis because Super Tennis exists as an S-tier tennis experience. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? But then Makeshift commented on his own post. It said, I clearly didn't see the box art. It thought you meant the OG NES sports games. My decision still stands. That added comment by you, that you were like, oh fuck, I could live with it if you were like, erase tennis because Super Tennis is better, but then realize like, oh wait, it's about Mario Power Tennis for the GameCube, arguably the greatest tennis game ever. Super Tennis is still better. The fact that you realized you fucked up and then said your decision still stands means that my decision to put you on double secret probation still fucking stands. You psycho. Super Tennis is better than Mario Tennis. Oh, you fucking Saturnians are just, God, it fucking makes me so fucking angry. Sony Kid Magazine wrote in and said, woo, I'm dying to play this, and you picked some great titles. I would play Mario Golf Toadstool Tour because I think it's the pinnacle of the Mario Golf franchise. I agree. I'd remake soccer because tennis hasn't explored soccer, or I'd remake soccer, pardon me, because Nintendo hasn't explored soccer enough with the Mario franchise, and I thought that Strikers could have been much better. And I'd erase tennis for the simple fact that I feel like the Mario Tennis franchise has become stagnant. I play Mario Tennis Aces with the wife at least a few times a month, and it just doesn't feel as fun as the original was. You know why it doesn't feel as fun as the original was? Because the original was better, and you just fucking erased it, Sony Kid. There's no logic to erase Mario Power Tennis. It's phenomenal. What are you guys doing? God fucking God. I am the Mutt wrote in and said, as someone who did not play any of these since I never had a GameCube, I went straight from the Genesis and SNES to the PlayStation. I'll give it a try. I would play Mario Golf because I always enjoy the golf games, even if I never play the real thing. I would remake Mario Strikers because I could see where a Mario soccer game would be fun and I would like to try that. We have to delete Mario Tennis simply because I've played tennis on the Wii and I don't like it, and it's the only game experience I have with a tennis game. So because you played shitty Wii Sports Tennis, you're going to erase the greatest tennis game of all time. In Mario Power Tennis, 0 for 3, Makeshift Money, Sony Kid Magazine, I am the Mutt. You all fucking, you guys, oh my God. This isn't fake. I love Mario Power Tennis. Holy Christ, I'm rattled. Dusty Salad wrote in. Admittedly, I might shrink your comment down a little bit here, Dusty Salad. To start, Dusty said, I think Mario Superstar Baseball on the GameCube is the best sports game on the GameCube. I'll respectfully disagree, although I never got as into Mario Superstar Baseball, but it was fair enough. It wasn't bad. I didn't like it as much as the other three, but all right. Dusty Salad says, play golf. I believe Toadstool Tour is the best Mario golf game in the series. This was an easy pick up and play. I'm not a huge golf fan, but Toadstool Tour is a GameCube game that would always be in the rotation of multiplayer games at parties and events. All right, fair enough. I'm on board. Remake Strikers. Strikers on the GameCube, in my opinion, is better than the game on the Wii. I agree with that 1,000,000%. And then erase Mario Tennis. This was the sports game that was played the least amongst my family and group of friends. This was a more forgotten about game, and we always chose to play the other Mario sports games on the GameCube over this one. It's not a terrible entry into the series, but it's hard to stack up against the other games because it's fucking better than the other games. All of you uncultured swine don't understand what the fucking fine intricacies of Mario Power Tennis are. There was so much strategy in there. It was like playing chess, but with balls. And you all just... Oh, a couple more. I can't take this. White Burrow, thank Christ. Play tennis. It is a solid game with no problems and lots of content. Erase golf. The Nintendo 64 version is far superior in every way except graphically, and the Game Boy games are also better, so arguably it is at best third as far as Mario Golf games rank. I disagree with that, but fair enough. Remake Soccer, it is one of the most underrated games of all time, and the people that have not played it because it's soccer are missing out. I would say it's more like hockey than soccer because of all the body checking. Agreed on everything outside of, I think that Toadstool Tour is the best Mario Golf game, but all right. You didn't make me angry. You didn't erase tennis. Fine. And then finally, Lee Spilling. Straight off the bat, I'm playing Mario Golf as it was the last good golf game. That's not fucking true because let's be honest. Oh, no, wait, because you're playing the, well, no, that's still, okay. Lee Spilling, I'm really fucking rattled over all the tennis eliminations. Lee Spilling said straight off the bat, I'm playing Mario Golf as it was the last good golf game Nintendo related because let's be honest, Super Mario Golf or Switch Mario Golf is pretty shit and boring. Now, I do think the 3DS Mario Golf would have something to say about being the last good one, but all right. Remake Soccer. That game was so much fun. I used to love that game. It needs a remake regardless. Agreed. And then toss out tennis. Tennis games are always shithouse, and this was no different. Take it away and fuck it off. The end. You can fuck it off, Lee Spilling. Get on double secret probation with the rest of them. I feel like you're all fucking... Seriously, if you've not... Oh my God, it makes me so mad. Mario Power Tennis is so good, you guys. It really is. Turn off the shitty power shots just to play strategic tennis. 25% of you had the right answer. It was the runner-up on the poll. Juga wrote in and said, with the right answer, play tennis. It's niche at best and better left as is. I don't think you could remake it and hit it big on profits. Remake Strikers. This game was hella fun back in the day. Switch graphics and a few quality of life changes would make this a AAA hit. Erase Golf. At best, it's a half-hearted play on Hot Shots Golf, which was amazing back in the day. I mean... That's a hot take. I mean, I agree with your order. Play tennis, remake soccer, erase golf. I don't know if I would say it was a half-assed take on Hot Shots. It was certainly very Hot Shots. And I would even listen to an argument that Hot Shots golf was better. But either way, you had the right answer. And for the record, before I tell you how my logic for this, I would love to remake all three of these games. Because I really do love all three of these games. And I want all three of them as they exist, but with online. But I'll play by my own rules and play fair and square. I would play Mario Power Tennis, okay? Now, I was going to remake this game and just add online. But I actually like Mario Tennis Aces on the Switch when you turn off the power shots and you just play basic tennis with lob shots and drop shots and angle shots and like there's a lot. That's what I love about tennis is the fucking chess match that's there and the strategy that goes into it. And a lot of the Mario games, the tennis plays great. But when I owned it, I could not find an online match anywhere without using the shitty power shots, which ruins the entire game. So I'm just not going to change Mario Power Tennis. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I cannot wait to review that game on Remember the Game. It's my most wanted GameCube game that I don't currently own. My buddy Chris, not the one that comes on the podcast, an old friend of mine, Chris, and I used to play it every morning before work. He would come to my apartment and I'd give him a lift to work. And every morning we would sit there and play a game of Mario Tennis. And I'm telling you guys, the strategy that fits into that GameCube version of Mario Tennis, when you just play straight tennis, is second to none. It's incredible. So I'd play it, I just leave it as it is because it's perfect. I would remake Super Mario Strikers because all of you that are showing, and I will say, for as angry as I got about the Mario Tennis hate, my heart was warmed by all of you showing love to Mario Strikers because Mario Soccer kicks ass. This franchise just seems to be forgotten about. If you added just online and let you play like 3v3 with your friends, God, it would be fun. Mario Strikers kicks ass. So I'd remake it and make another one. I would erase Mario Golf Toadstool Tour through no fault of its own. I love this game. But Mario Golf on the 3DS is awesome too. And Mario Soccer and Mario Tennis don't have that. So I can live without the GameCube version of Mario Golf because I'll play it on my 3DS and then I still have soccer and tennis. But it is great. Toadstool Tour is awesome. So thank you to everyone that played, except for all of you psychos that erased Mario Power Tennis. We are officially enemies now. Oh boy, oh fuck. I couldn't believe so many people hate on that game. It is so good. You're all fucking crazy. What have I been playing? And then we'll talk Zelda 2. I'm back to Returnal. Once I finished Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart and I finished the Final Fantasy VII DLC, I'm back into Returnal. The more I play that game, the more I love it. And I'm very close to finishing it. And I can't spoil anything about... I don't want to spoil anything, but I've been playing it for a long time. I love it. Every time I sit down and play it, I have a good time. I adore that video game. I also played through Jet Set Radio. I played it on Steam, but it is the Dreamcast game as it won June's Patreon poll. And the episode about it might even be live next week. If not, it'll be the week after. I think it'll be next week, though. That's coming. And then I'm going back to playing Slay the Spire a little bit. Just while I've been watching baseball, I play Slay the Spire. I love that game. I'm trying really hard to knock some retro games off my backlog over the summer before all the new games drop in the fall. I have a list of games that I want to cover on the show that I just haven't played. And I am slowly working through that. And I don't want to say what the games are because I'd rather just surprise people with episodes. But a lot of them are games that we have talked about in the community in the past that I know people are interested in. And I'm slowly working my way through them so that we can record some episodes about it. And that's about all I've been playing. Let's get into Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link for the NES. That is our focus point this week. As always, I like to let a few of you share your thoughts on the game before my guest and I ramble for an hour or so. I'm going to try to sneak a whole bunch in here because there's some pretty passionate takes this time, and I'm going to kind of rip through a bunch of these. Emily, hang on, I got a drink of water here. All right, Emily Luna wrote in and said, Zelda 2. For as much as people malign this game for its vast departure from the first, I feel that it's exactly why it should be celebrated. It was a bold move and a great example of taking a risk and going a different path to potentially deliver a fresh new experience. And really, isn't that exactly what we want as gamers? Here's to you, Adventure of Link. It's a fair point. And that's why it's so divisive, is because they tried something so off script after the first game. And some people love it and some people hate it, but a lot of these comments, I didn't realize how many people really, really like this game, to be honest with you. Darth Obvious wrote in and said, Zelda 2 was actually the first Zelda that I played. I didn't know there were 2 games yet, and it was the one my mom grabbed from Blockbuster. It's the first game I remember renting. I even like it more than Zelda 1. I've never understood the hate this game gets versus other Zelda games. Yes, it's different, but so were the sequels to Mario and Castlevania. It took the good parts of the first game, like the exploration, and used the side-scrolling parts to improve the combat, which was the weakest part of the first game. Admittedly, it is a hard game. I never beat it until the Zelda collection on GameCube, and the problems were common of games of the time and the things that really stand out now. Trying to get to the Great Palace is tough, and if you didn't restart there once you got there, the game would be unbearable. I agree with almost everything you said. It's funny, though, because, Mario went different with their sequel, and it was awesome. Castlevania went different with Castlevania 2, and it was fucking horrendous. So it can go either way, but I respect when they take chances like this. And you gotta remember, Zelda 2 comes at a time when we weren't used to annualized series or franchises where every game seemed to be the same as the previous game. So this was a wild idea. David Phillips wrote in and said, I got this game during the GameCube era when I had the money to go back and get the games I wanted but didn't own growing up. I always liked this one, but it was quite different than what I had expected. I think this one, more than any other Zelda game, could use a remake overhaul. David, I agree with you 1,000,000,000%. I believe it's something we bring up in the podcast this week. I would love to see this fucking game remade. Astro Alpica wrote in and said, I first played this on the Zelda compilation disc sold on the GameCube. I had no idea what to think of this game when I first played it. From I Am Error to the, I love that, to the weird laughter you heard when you died. It just did not feel like a Zelda game. That said, I admire Nintendo for trying something new after their first game, and had it not been for Zelda 2, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past would have never been as good as it was. This game is a good example of how you should never give up when a hobby, career, or project flops, but instead learn from your mistakes and try again. That's a good point, Astro. Because you're right, they could have... Shigeru Miyamoto has come out and said that he doesn't like this game. He's not proud of this game. So... yeah, you're right. They could have just dropped the Zelda franchise at that point, but then they came back with Link's Awakening and Link to the Past and ripped it up. And then finally, Michael Mathis wrote in and said, personally speaking, I love this game. I think it's better than the original Legend of Zelda. It introduced new mechanics, more of a story mode with interactive civilians you could talk to. I love the combat in it and the ruthlessness it can have at times. It's just a great, solid NES game that deserves more love. I will say I don't adore this game, but I do think I don't think it deserves the shit that it takes. In 156 episodes, I've never been more conflicted on my opinion of a game than I am with this one. And you're going to hear all about that right now with Mark McHugh and I. I am going to cue up some Zelda 2 music. And we are going to talk all about Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, the freak of the Zelda family, which originally released on the NES at some point that I don't know because in my notes I forgot to look up the release date. So that's the quality podcasting you get here to remember the game. God damn it. Enjoy the podcast, everybody. Let's go. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everyone that listens to this podcast knows about our illustrious CEO, my dog Molly. But the other silent partner behind the scenes is my wife. And let me tell you, my friends, a 17-year relationship with another person that has to talk to and live with you is a lot harder to maintain than one with a dog. We've had our ups and downs, and as you all know, a relationship isn't all sunshine and rainbows. They can be a lot of work. You get out what you put in when it comes to relationships, and talking to a therapist can be a fantastic way to put in some work. They can help you work through your issues, learn to communicate better, and even just provide you with an ear to bend when you need it. I've talked to my therapist about my relationships, especially when it came to my stand-up comedy career and how much I was away from home, and they helped me work on ways to keep my relationship strong even when I was out on the road. It turned out our relationship was actually better when I was out on the road, but that's a story for another day. And I know, right? Therapy. Who has the time these days? BetterHelp hears you, and they're making it easy. Fill out a quick form online, and they'll match you up with a therapist that suits your needs, and that'll work around your schedule. You pick the meet times, and you can get your therapy fix from anywhere, over video, phone, or just chat. Become your own soulmate, whether you're looking for one or not. Visit BetterHelp.com/rememberthegame today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/rememberthegame. Okay, so joining me via the blank phone this week is, he needs no introduction, but he's going to get one purely on the simple fact that I love saying that he's a former Hall of Famer. And that is the one and only former Hall of Famer of Remember the Game Industries, my buddy Mark McHugh. How's it hanging, pal?
I gotta say, Adam, like I'm taking you out of my Hall of Fame for making me do this game. Making me play Zelda 2.
The Mark McHugh Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like, you're out of my Hall of Fame, Adam.
Now, does it make me a cunt for laughing at the Mark McHugh Hall of Fame when my Hall of Fame is a made-up Hall of Fame about a video game podcast? Perhaps, but it's like I think that's fine. I can live. I
like how my Hall of Fame is only a little bit more made up than yours.
Yeah, exactly. I love every person on the planet should have their own personal made up Hall of Fame. Maybe we should start a business. You know how they have businesses where you can what's it called? That one where you can look up your heritage, ancestry.com and stuff like that. We should start a website called myhalloffame.com. And it's like Facebook and stuff, but the only people that are allowed to post in it are people you've designated as Hall of Famers.
I feel like that's a great idea. I feel like that's a great idea for like 2002.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Well, you know what, Mark? In my mind, sometimes it is still 2002. Because those were simpler times. My back didn't hurt. My hair was all one color. I didn't get heartburn from drinking water. And I hadn't put a lot of time into playing Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. That was a fucking segue. That was money in the bank. Come on.
That was very impressive.
Fuck yeah. Okay, we're talking Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. All right, now this thing, for the record, I would have already explained this in the intro, but I got to set the groundwork again. This thing won our Patreon poll last month. This may not go live until early July, but I want you all to know it is mid-June as we're recording this. For the record, Mark, you can vouch, right? Mid-June.
Yes.
I got it in the month after it won our Patreon poll. This is like, how the fuck, like, is the redheaded stepchild of the Zelda family even an accurate enough description for what an odd game this is in like the annals.
I mean, like all of the Zelda games are kind of like, what a weird game. Like if you look, like the best Zelda games are weird. Like Majora's Mask, that's a weird fucking game, but it's great.
Right.
Or like Wind Waker is a weird game.
Okay, I'll give you Wind Waker.
Especially within the context of the franchise.
Majora's Mask could sit on a cactus, but I'll get on board with Wind Waker. Fair, okay.
Dude, one day we're going to do an episode about Majora's Mask, and it's going to be 7 hours long.
Never have. I refuse. That game is banned. That game is banned from... Anyway. So listen, you know what? You had to fucking say that. And now, not only am I going to get all the fucking Zelda fans coming at me because we have some critical things to say about the Adventure of Link, now the fucking Majora Mask freaks are going to come out of the woods with their fucking little purple bug-eye masks and be like, you just don't understand. In that case, here we go.
I need to make it absolutely clear then that, yes, I am going to be shitting on Zelda 2 here, but I also want to point out that I'm the one that pointed out that Majora's Mask is great.
Thank you.
I only get half the amount of hate that Adam gets.
Yeah.
He hates both.
No, here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and defend the Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is a good game. Well, here's the thing, Mark, and I can't figure out, I wasn't sure how I was going to... Zelda 2 is too bad to be a good game, but it's too good to be bad. There are things about this game that I really, really like. And then it gets offset by these...
there was so much care in the design of this game, but then the gameplay itself is not fun.
It's, like, have you ever seen, like the diagrams people do where they have the two circles and there's like that small little area of overlap? And that's...
Yeah, the Venn diagram.
Oh, I didn't know. What's it called?
It's called the Venn diagram.
Venn?
Yeah, VENN, I think it's spelled.
Oh, shit, I learned something. Oh, people are going to be like, I can't believe Adam didn't know what a Venn diagram was.
Yeah,
I can't believe
all
you do.
They probably don't know something that they say that other people would regard as basic.
The same people that knew that was called a Venn diagram are the people that fucking like Majora's Mask. And I don't want to be friends with either of you. Anyways. Okay, I don't want to do Majora's Mask today. I don't want to do that. But this game is a Venn diagram, and on the one circle, it's superly overcomplicated, difficult game that just fucks you in the ass every chance it gets. But then on the other circle, it's incredibly creative game with a lot of really cool ideas that might have been a little bit ahead of its time. And when you put those two circles over each other, right dead center in the middle, you get Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, and a little bit of Bart versus the Space Mutants. It is just...
You know what other game in the series is a lot like that, where it's like the gameplay is annoying and difficult, but like such a well-polished game is Skyward Sword. I think is a fantastic game, but like the gameplay is a little bit wonky. But there's going to be a remake of that coming out this month, so we'll see if they fix that. But Zelda 2, they've never been able to fix.
No, and it just like... So I can't imagine there's anyone listening to this that has not at least seen screenshots of Zelda 2, but if you haven't, just to quickly give you the lay of the land, this was the sequel to the original Legend of Zelda on the NES, and the original Legend of Zelda is, one of the all-time greats, and I love that game, and all that good stuff. Zelda 2 got really funky, and then they clearly decided that this didn't work, and then they went back to a game like the original Legend of Zelda with Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, which is still, for my
one of the best games
Zelda.
Of all time.
I still think it's the best Zelda game, but that's a whole different argument. Zelda 2 is like a fucking side-scrolling action RPG with experience points and magic spells, and
it's like, I see what they were going for. I think that what they thought is that if they had did it like a side-scroll perspective for like combat and stuff like that, you would be able to be in closer contact with the monsters, and the one-on-one fights would feel a bit more intimate. And that's kind of what they're going for here with all of these complicated sword battles. But then it just ends up being obnoxious more than fun.
Yeah, because here's the thing is I know there's a vocal, I don't even know if I want to say minority. I think it's fairly split down the middle. There's a lot of people, at least in the Remember the Game community, that really like this game. And I remember playing this game as a kid, like in bits and spurts. And I mean, you would have, I'll tell you all, I will put it on the record on the internet where it can never go away. Nobody is picking up the Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link part. I keep wanting to call it the Adventure. Anyway, no one is picking up Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link and beating it the first time they play it. Nobody is doing that. Maybe there's fucking nerds out there that have gotten good enough at it that they can do it. But like, if you're a kid and you rented this for the weekend and you played it, for a couple of days and shit, like, no. Especially back in the old days without the internet helping you find stuff, you're not beating this. You're not beating this game. It is.
No, absolutely not.
To a limited extent, I feel like this was the first Dark Souls game because it is so hard and you slowly get better and you slowly figure out what you got to do to take out certain enemies and it punishes you when you die and then you got to play back through all the fucking shit you just did over and over and over again. And I truly feel like maybe that's a good way to describe this game is it's like NES Dark Souls because this game fucks you over.
It's the biggest, it's the thing that's aged the worst about like old games because old games were made artificially long by being difficult. So you would have to learn a set of patterns,
right? And
you'd have to like play the game over and over and over again to learn what you're supposed to do. And then Legend of Zelda was what, but now games have realized like you see games that can be difficult, but still fun. Games like Celeste understand that doing the same thing over and over again isn't fun.
Right. Yeah. Well, God, I love Celeste.
So games are a lot more liberal with checkpoints now, which some people argue is a bad thing, but it's like, okay, we've got to, like, we have work to be in the morning. Like,
yeah. Now I
hate it when games don't respect your time.
But now I will say, because like I know if I sit here and just criticize this game for being too hard, I'm going to have people coming out saying get good. And the thing is like every time, not every time, I had a few sessions where I would sit down to play this and I would just die over and over and over and over. And I would feel the fucking old angry Adam, like the Incredible Hulk, angry Adam, fucking eyes start twitching and the muscles start, I don't have muscles, but if I had muscles, they start popping and I can feel the rage. But then I would beat the part that was killing me over and over and over again. And then I would feel like a fucking pimp. I'd be like, there we go. And then I would play along to the next part where I would get stuck over and over and over again. And a couple of saving graces for this game are, one, I agree with you that like a lot of games from the NES era were designed to be hard just to artificially enhance the length of them. I agree with that 100%. This game, though, number one, if you take the time to learn the patterns of enemies, it does become infinitely more beatable because the enemies don't change. Very rarely do the enemies become like Hammer Brothers. I know there's the one enemy in this game that's a lot like the Hammer Brother that just throws the shit up in the air. But like,
well, but even then, you just have to find like a space under the arc.
It's like this game. If you're willing to put in the time and the practice, you can beat this game. Like the enemies become beatable. The other thing that it's so funny because to me, a great thing about this game is that when you die, it says game over, but like your progress, other than experience points, that if you didn't cash in your experience points, they go to waste, but we'll get there in a minute. But like if you go get say you fight your way through a dungeon and you get like the raft. I'm just pulling an item out of my ass, but you get the raft. And then you die trying to get out of the dungeon. You go back to start, but you have the raft. And so I'm like, all right, so at least you're throwing me a little bit of a bone there that you're like, as long as you can get to whatever you're trying to get to in that item, or if you're trying to, if you pick up a certain item or do something, that will carry over. And it's like, oh, okay, right on. Well, thank you. But they're like, oh, it's like the monkey's paw on The Simpsons where they give you something good, but then they fuck you at the same time. And they're like, we'll let you keep the item that you earned, but you're hoofing it all the way back to start. And until you have the ability to blow up the boulders on that path, to fucking take that shortcut through, you have to go up, over to the left, through that fucking cave, back down through the forest every fucking time. And it was
I have a legitimate question about this game, and I want to know if anybody has the answer. Can anybody name one single thing that including the live system in this game added to it? Like, what was accomplished by using the life system? Because it didn't make the game, like, it made the game infinitely more frustrating. Like, because, you would be punished for losing, but, like, you would have to go all the way back, and you would just have to walk to where you just were again, And that isn't fun because you've already done that over and over again.
Now, because I agree with you. Having said that, listen, you guys know that like it takes a lot to get me to criticize my beloved Mario. But I feel the same way about Mario games. Like in today's day and age, I'm like, lives have become pointless. Like, just let us keep playing. Let us keep playing. Now, I will say, and that's one of the hardest things about this game, particularly with the Patreon poll winners, is I try so hard to set myself at the era the game came out. And I'm like, was this the norm back then? Or did this game just forget? Because, like, it was somewhat of the norm back then to have lives. It kind of, but I agree with you. And here's the kicker, and this is where I think that's a valid criticism. Zelda 1, you fucking died, and then it said game over, and then you started over at the beginning of the dungeon or whatever you were in. So they had done this. They knew what worked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't know why they regressed so hard here.
Yeah. I at least I want to say that you started over the dungeon you were in when you died. Maybe
I feel like the live session, the life system never should have carried over to home consoles, because that's left over from like, oh, you would go play a game at the arcade and you'd get 3 lives for a quarter.
Right. Yeah.
Now, like at the arcade, that makes sense. It's like you get to try this game 3 times for a quarter. If you lose, you put in another quarter and you keep going. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
But for the home console, I can't think of a single game in which the live system enhanced the gameplay instead rather than took away from it.
Yeah, I can get on board with that, and it was frustrating to me. And like I said, I feel like it's a legit criticism because in this series they had already been like, "No, look, we know that you're not going to want to do this." Although I guess you could argue in the first, because that's what I do in the first game. If you died in a dungeon, you went back to the beginning of the dungeon, but like you only had part of your health, and you had to go out. Like if you had a potion, you fucking lost it, and that was kind of a pain in the ass too. But I agree. And like the way that it fucking warps you all the way back to start, and then you got to hoof your way all the way around again. And listen, for all of you that do really like this game, I can't speak on behalf of Mark, but I am going to come to your game's defense a little bit when we're done shitting on it, because there's some stuff with this game that I think is awesome. Awesome. And so there is some stuff I'm going to defend. But dude, I can't agree with you more. Like the fucking tediousness. And the thing is like when I play one of these old games, I try not to use save states. Sometimes I do, looking at you fucking blaster,
dude,
master.
I'll be honest. I save stated the whole way. Like I played halfway through this game. I'll be totally honest, because like I got halfway through and I was like, fuck this. Like I wasn't having anything that resembled fun at that point. So I'm like, I'm not going to finish this.
Well, like what frustrated me about it more than anything, it like the difficulty frustrated me, but I was like, if that had been the only big issue, I think for the most part, I probably could have gotten over it. But the other problem with it, and the original Legend of Zelda had this problem too, and I love that game, is just like there's certain things where you're like, how the fuck did anyone figure this out without like a guide or something? And the thing is I know some of you, because every time we talk about a game like this, I get messages from 3 or 4 people that are like, I figured it out as a kid. Sure, because as a kid, you had nothing else to do, and you had nothing else to play. But the thing is,
you could just go bomb every single bush and tree and rock.
I got to a point I think I'm fairly close to the end of the game where, what was it? Because I never beat the game either. Because the same thing, I just was like getting so frustrated with it, and I was like, fuck, I was missing, I think I was missing some stuff that would increase my magic meter. I think is what it was. And then this old guy was like, I had to go back and find one, and I had no idea where it was, and I didn't want to look it up. And then it was like I couldn't walk on the map for more than 3 seconds without people jumping out at me. And I know you can stay on the path because then they won't attack you. But I was just like, fuck, I fucking have had enough of this. Like I'll tell you, Mark, there's not a game. I don't know if I've played a game on the NES, period, that I want to see remade and tried again more than this game. Because I really, really wanted to love this game. But every time
I would be open to seeing if they remade this, I would be open to see what they did with it.
Right. Because every time I fucking tried something and I would get, oh my God, I fucking would die, or I'd fucking die, and I'd fucking die, and I'd get so fucking angry. And then I so finally I was like, you know what? I've played a lot of video games in my life. I've played RPGs. I know that sometimes the key is to do some grinding. And so I'll tell you, Mark, I put on some podcasts, I listen to podcasts, and I fucking grinded. And I grinded because and now let's get into the experience system, because I love the idea of an experience system in one of these games where you could level up your magic, level up your attack, or level up your health. I'm totally
well,
on
and that
board
was like
with
the popular system in RPGs at the time.
Yeah.
Like we started seeing that with like, I think, was this before or after Final Fantasy? Do you know?
I would guess, I think before, but don't quote me on that. But I think it was before.
Okay.
But either way, I like, I'll tell you, man, I fucking grind, and I'll tell you all right now, if you have never played this game, once you find so quickly to explain how the experience points work is you can level up any of your 3 stats, okay? And it starts out like, I don't remember the exact number, but say you need 50 experience points to gain a level. And so once you collect 50 experience points from killing enemies or picking them up on the ground, then it lets you choose. Do you want to upgrade your health? Do you want to upgrade your magic? Or do you want to upgrade your weapon damage? But then every time you upgrade them, they get more expensive to upgrade, and the cost of getting to the next upgrade goes up. And after a little while, you've played the game so much that like it takes, say, 2,000 experience points for you to buy one of the more expensive near the end of the game upgrades. It takes a long time to come up with 2,000 experience points, and your experience points carry over from death to death, but only like from life to life within the same playthrough. But once you die 3 times and you get a game over and you get warped back to start, all the experience points you had were fucking gone. And so it in a small way, it played like a roguelike in the sense of like, I had like 1,000 of the 2,000 experience points I needed, and I had 1 life left or 2 lives left. Now I have to decide, am I going to try to make some progress in this game, or am I just going to camp out near a village where I can keep refilling my health and grind up that extra 1,000 experience points to level up whatever ability I want to level up next? Because I'll tell you, Mark, it is... I think I got further in the game than you. It makes a fucking world of a difference to level up some of your gear, particularly
you
sword.
Put way more into. I would have I was not willing to give this game like time to grind.
Because like the thing was like what I would do is find an area where there were enemies that would drop enough experience points to take at least a reasonable chunk out of how many I like. Near the end of the game, you need like 4,000 or 5,000 experience points, maybe even more, to upgrade a place. So what I would do is there was like this one village on the other side of one of those broken rocks. And if you don't know, you can go into a village and then talk to a lady and get your health and magic refilled anytime you want. And like the jokes have all been made, but a rather attractive young
like
lady,
what did she do in there?
Yeah, of course. We all know that they just had something to eat and Link had a nap and he was fine. Like we all know that's what happened. But anyway, so I would hang out outside of one of those villages, and I found one where because like when you're on the overworld, if you're walking at random times, small enemies and bigger enemies show up and move around in random directions too. And if you bump into a small enemy, then it takes you into a combat screen that's a little bit easier. If you bump into a big enemy, it takes you into a combat screen that's a little bit more hectic. But obviously there's more experience points there. And so I found one where I had to kill, there was only 4 bad guys I had to kill on the harder of the 2 enemies you would bump into. And those 4 enemies were worth like 200 experience points. Plus sometimes they would drop little bags of experience points. And then at any time I could just pop into the village, refill my stats, and then head back out. And so I just hung out there and grinded my way up to be maxed out. And once you were maxed out, then I wasn't dying as often from the difficulty of the game. I was just getting stuck because I was missing like one item. You have to go into this like forest and find this hidden village that I don't know how the fuck anyone would find it. Then I get in there and then it turns out I don't have all these power-ups for my magic. So now I have to go back into the overworld.
Like I have no idea how people figured this game out. It is so vague what you're supposed to do at any given time that like I'm not gonna lie. I stated my way through it. I looked up what I was supposed to do on the internet. I did not play the way that they intended us to play this game.
Right. Yeah, I just like...
My patience with this game is like, did you ever see Trains, Planes, and Automobiles?
No, I didn't.
I'm Steve Martin in that movie.
Oh. Does he get mad?
The whole movie is like him and John Candy is like an annoying dude who like has a bunch of rude habits, and Steve Martin just has no patience for it.
Oh, okay. Now, fuck. See, now I'm going to get yelled at from Majora's Mask, Adventure of Link, and that I haven't seen Plane Trains. Just fucking add it to the
but
list.
here's the thing. The
Come yell at
podcast
me.
is not called Remember the Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
No.
So, like...
That would be I don't know if that would be a good pod. I have to see the movie before I can decide if that'd be a good movie or not. But
it's not a good weekly podcast.
Yeah. No, fuck. Like talking about the same movie every week. Oh, like just scene by scene, line by line. Okay, on today's
Actually, now
episode.
that I think about it, this might be a great idea.
Oh Christ, I'm never coming on that show. Maybe Ninja Turtle, maybe. Anyway, okay, back to Zelda. So, like, I try to put myself in that era because, like, I think it's a legitimate criticism to throw the original Legend of Zelda that there's some stuff in there that it's like, how the fuck would you have ever found this without a walkthrough as well? But I really, really like that game. So I'm hesitant to shit on this game because of it. Having said that, I found the original Legend of Zelda far more, frankly, more fun to explore than Zelda 2.
And you know what? Like, I'm the biggest Zelda fan. I'm crazy about the game, but for the series. But Zelda 1 and 2 don't do anything for me.
See, but like, because you didn't really, because I didn't really play them that much growing up either. But you didn't play them that much growing up, right? Like you probably
My first Zelda was Link to the Past.
Me too.
So that's the one that lives inside me.
So it's hard because they're like, of course they're going to be less, they're going to be subpar compared to Link to the Past. But I can still play the first one. Like to me, outside of the like, I think we've talked ad nauseum about how frustrating it is to die and start over. And I'll tell you, man, when you're fucking really close to leveling up near the end of the game and then you fucking die and have to start over, that was where save states and the rewind function came into play. And I would, and frankly, and I hate doing this, but frankly, it's like Blaster Master. I would recommend to people that want it, that are thinking about trying it. I personally think this game is worth playing, but use something with save states. It's just you're not gonna have as much fun playing it for the first time. If you played it a lot as a kid and you know it like the back of your hand and you know where to go, then maybe. But I don't think it'd be as fun without save states. The other criticism I had was, like I was saying, in the original Legend of Zelda, like you know, like for anyone that's ever played it, you go from like grid to grid to grid to grid, like on the map, and every time you walk off the screen shifts to the whatever direction you're walking, and then it loads up the new enemies. In this game, you have like an overworld that moves really smooth and doesn't have a lot of load screens, but these enemies are just constantly popping up, and they can be really hard to avoid because they're moving at random. And if you stay on the path, they don't come up, but you can't always stay on the path, and you can't not grind or you'll never beat this game. But then you got to go into these fucking combat scenes, and the combat is just so repetitive. It's so and it went from like, it was fun for a minute, but it's like, it gets to the point where it takes you 2 minutes, unless you want to just run through the screen and get off the screen. If you actually want to fight the enemies and try to get the experience points to keep leveling up, like it can take you a minute or so to fight your way through these, and it's over and over and over and over. And it just got to the point where I was like, I'm not having fun anymore. Like there wasn't enough variety, you know? Oh.
That's exactly it. Like I know that there are a lot of people out there that love the Dark Souls games, but like that's not like, I don't like playing games where I have to like hit my head on a wall for 4 hours to get past one part.
Yeah, I've made
some people love that, and if you love that, then yeah, you probably dig this game. But that's not how I like to play.
Quite frankly, I would go as far as to say, if you do like the Dark Souls games, give this a shot, because I feel like it is an NES Dark Souls game. But I've made that abundantly clear as well. I respect what the Dark Souls games do, and in small doses I enjoy them, but I don't have the patience to fucking play them over and over again. And this plays a lot like a Dark Souls game. And I will say, because listen, it's not all bad. I have some stuff about this game that I really like, that I would like to fucking go to bat for and kind of stick up for it. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else I really want to shit on. I know that it's like classic NES, SNES, Genesis, like classic like retro gaming RPG to go into a village and talk to everybody. But I did find it a little bit annoying that the village was like sometimes they'd be 2 or 3 fucking panels long, and then some of the people you talk to would just turn out to be enemies and they'd fucking hurt you. And the thing is like, you're so much more powerful in this game when your health is full and you have that little beam that shoots out of your sword. And as soon as you take even a little bump of damage, you lose that ability. And it's like, fuck sakes, how the fuck am I taking damage when all I'm trying to do is walk through a village? Now I have to go back and find the fucking healing lady and go get my health filled up again because I don't want to leave town without having full health. So I have that little beam for fucking... I had some runs where I went a pretty long time without taking damage as long as I had my sword beam. But once you lose it, the game like quadruples as far as fucking you over. And
oh,
it was
completely.
so annoying. Now,
I also hated in the village when like you just come across someone and you talk to them and they just say like hello, and it's like, okay, why are you in the game?
Mm-hmm. And the
you
thing
have
was,
added nothing to this,
and there was no way to skip through what they were saying. Like you could like skip out of it, but and then I realized like, well, fuck, I bet you someone like there was a couple of times where someone would tell me like, oh, Gorku is in the woods, and so I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then I would find that guy or whatever the fuck the guy's name was, I don't remember now. That would keep the game going. But it was like, okay, so then I can't skip what you fucking say, but a whole bunch of you would say like, please save our town, and you're just like, I'm just gonna cut all of you and move in here, and this is my town now. Because I fucking hate, like, God, it just took so long to get through some of the dialogue. And I was like, God, I fucking, and the thing is like, I try not to shit on NES games for being NES games and having problems NES games had. But this is just, they tried so hard to do something so different from the first game. And Shigeru Miyamoto himself has come out and said that he doesn't think this is a good game. And I'm not willing to go that far. And this comes back to what I said off the top. I think this game is too bad to be good, but I also think there's enough good here to keep it from being bad. I've defended Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the NES ad nauseum on this podcast. And that
what
game...
I will say is I am super happy that this game did well, because then the Zelda franchise got to continue and got to become what it is. So I'm grateful for what this game added to the franchise, and I'm grateful that it kept the franchise going.
Well, I like that, like, they dropped experience points. I can't think of, and you know Zelda better than me, is there another Zelda game with, like, legitimate experience points? I don't think there is.
No.
Not that I could think of. But I do like even thinking of Link to the Past, you can upgrade your health, you can upgrade your magic, your magic meter, and you can upgrade the power of your weapon by finding better weapons. So it kind of had those three things just in a much funner way. So I do think there's some stuff in this game that they took from it and used in other games, and I really like.
And you even see stuff in the level progression that you even see in Breath of the Wild. Like you were talking earlier that like, oh, when you're leveling up stuff, like, oh, it's more and more experience points each time you want to level something up. Or Breath of the Wild, their level up system was mostly about shrines, but you also had the Korok seeds to upgrade your inventory, and so every time you upgraded your inventory, it was more and more seeds.
Right. Yeah, you're right. I forgot.
So, like, we do kind of see like glimmers of this game in future titles.
And I will like, so okay, because I kind of like to like. There's some stuff about this game I really like, and I don't want to just crap on it. We'll crap on it again at the end when we score it. Although I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know. I'll tell you, man. I know I keep repeating myself, but like. It's very 99% of the time coming into an episode of this show, I know whether or not I like a game. I'm not sure if I'm going to say a game is like great or a masterpiece or just good or if it sucks or if it's really bad. But I usually know like, you know, like if like let's just say for argument's sake that like 6 out of 10 is the line. I usually know like, okay, well this game is clearly better than bad or this game is clearly worse than good. And I'm so fucking torn on this game because all the reasons we just talked about, it's kind of shit. But then there's also stuff, first and foremost, maybe I'm in the minority here. I really like the graphics in this game. Like the way Link looks tall instead of being this squished little weirdo that he is in most of the other games. Like this is, you see like Breath of the Wild Link here. You see Twilight Princess Link here. Like he's
they were definitely trying to like up the level of design of this game, and that's why they went for the side-scrolling perspective.
Right.
Which I respect, but it didn't I don't think it worked as a game.
Like, I mean, because even when you think of like Link's Awakening, like there's scenes in Link's Awakening, you know, the parts in Link's Awakening where it goes to like platformer almost.
Yeah.
And Link is like the little child, the little chubby kid in that again. And then you play this and like he's always like the full grown adult. And I really like that. And at times, I really like the combat in this game. The problem I had with the combat in this game was that I found it got far too repetitive, far too fast. But I like the idea of like standing up and having the options of like, because the thing I think, and Link to the Past is one of my favorite video games ever. But I do think a fair-ish criticism of those early, like that one and the original Legend of Zelda and Link's Awakening, the early top-down Zelda games, is that the combat is kind of shallow. You can swing your sword goes what, like an inch on the screen tops, and you just need the enemy to come close to you. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas in this one, the way it's side scrolling, you can like it almost, dude, there's parts where like these waving like horse heads come in from the side of the screen, and like there's almost hints of like Castlevania there, where it's like I can jump up and down and use a little bit of strategy and lure an enemy in and use my shield to dodge them. And I don't know how well it plays completely in execution, but I like where they were trying to go with the combat in this game. And then once you add in stuff like the pogo stick, like where you can jump and put the sword like straight down and stuff like that, that was a big game changer for me, because then I started using that. Like
that was a cool addition, and I like very much how they use that for Toon Link's animation in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I love that mechanic, and like I know a lot of people, when you think of that mechanic, you think of DuckTales, and I don't know off the top of my head if this game came out before DuckTales or not, but I love that mechanic, dude. Once I got a hold of that, you know those fucking bouncing, like glowing skull things that took like 80 hits to kill near the beginning of the game?
Oh god, yeah.
Well, once you've got the jump, if you time it right, you get on top of them, you just hold down and you just pogo on them until they die, and then you get 50 experience points out of it.
Yeah, that's so much better.
Oh god, and that's when I started leveling up like crazy. Was that, or even dealing with like those fucking knights? Oh, motherfucking knights, where they like swing their sword
the ones
high
with the shields were like,
and you kind of have to guess where their shield is going to be and kind of hit them as they're moving toward you or you're moving toward them. It took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah, like they always move in the same pattern. It's just a difficult pattern to figure out.
Yeah. But like once you start picking up a couple other attacks, that comes in really handy. I'll be honest with you. I actually thought that the magic in this game was an awesome addition. Awesome addition. Because once you started getting some extra spells, like once you had the ability to heal yourself, once you had the ability to turn into a fairy, and then you could fly around anywhere you want really quickly, and it made it easier to explore and stuff like that. You could add extra armor. You could give yourself the ability to jump higher. And in a small way, it almost had hints of Metroid to it, where it was like, well, now I can get into areas I couldn't get in before and go do more exploring and find more power-ups and stuff like that.
Oh yes, absolutely. Like they. Like I remember playing it being like, oh yeah, this was made about the same time as the original Metroid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love the magic in this system, or in this game. I thought it was really handy, particularly the healing spell, because once you can heal yourself, even if you only have enough magic to heal yourself one time, that changes the fucking game, because now you're on the, like, I went from like, oh cool, if I find magic, then I can use the armor spell more, or the jump spell more. But once I had the ability to like refill my health out of it once, now I'm like seeking out magic, because I'm like, well, that's an extra life. Like that's going to buy me one more run at this. And that made a huge difference. And I don't know how many other people knew this, probably lots of people did, but I found a little, almost like not a cheat code, but like a time saver. Cause you know how you could go to the villages and like the young lady would heal your health and then the old lady would heal your magic.
Yeah.
Well, once you had the ability to cure yourself with magic, you go talk to her, and then as soon as you come out of the house and your magic is filling up, quickly use your heal spell, and then you'll heal your health, but the magic will just keep filling up, and then you don't have to go find the other lady. You can just stick to the old lady.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I prefer older women anyway, so I was like, fuck yeah, this is... I'm not interested in Becky down the street. I want fucking Gertrude and her magic restorating abilities. That was restorating.
I want Becky. I want Aunt Becky.
Yeah, I want Aunt Becky. Anyway, now this podcast is getting fucking creepy. So I really like the magic. I really like the graphics. I like the combat. And I'll be honest with you, aside from the incredible frustration that came from it, I liked the puzzle aspect. Like right at the beginning of the game, when you're walking on the path and you can see when you go, like you come out of the temple that you start the game in or whatever, and you walk to the right and there's like a village and then there's a boulder underneath them and that's blocking the path. And it was like, I fucking know at some point I'm going to have the ability to break open that boulder. And then it kind of becomes a like, okay, well, you have to go find the candle first. And then once you have the candle, now you can see the enemies that are in these caverns and now you can keep moving on from there. Now you need the ability to jump, but you can't get the ability to jump until you have the candle. And I understand that as the game goes on, it gets a little bit frustrating because I got lost a few times and I couldn't figure out where the fuck I was supposed to go. And then I tried to traverse this fucking world to figure out where I had to go. But then every time I took 3 fucking steps, more enemies would fucking show up. But I like the concept of it. And it was the sense of progression. Once I had the ability to break open a boulder, once I had the ability to get on a raft and shoot across the water, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there were a lot of good ideas in this game.
Yeah. There really was. I would love to know. I want to know what they were thinking. Right. I want to go back to my Turtles point. I've defended Ninja Turtles on the NES a million times. I know it's soul crushingly difficult, but I stick up for it because I got to be honest. I respect, and I mean this even about bad games. I respect it when a game tries something different. And I don't love everything that Zelda 2 does, but I really do respect the idea that it didn't just play it safe and do the same thing. Because you could certainly argue, by and large, Link's Awakening, Link to the Past, and the original Legend of Zelda are very, very similar games. I know there's different settings and stuff, right? Like whereas Zelda 2 is completely different. It's kind of like Mario 2, and we've gone over the whole origin of Mario 2 and why it's so different a million times. But like, I like it when games try to do something different. Every Turtles game after that original Turtles game is just a generic beat 'em up. And they're all fun, sure. But that original one had like puzzle solving and platforming and I like it when they try to work in, and each turtle handles a little bit different. And I like it when games try something like that. So,
and if anything, we can see that the Zelda series is at its best when it tries something different. I mean, we disagree about Majora's Mask, but even if you look at games like Wind Waker, or even maybe to a lesser extent Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, games like A Link Between Worlds, like the Zelda, like whenever they think of a weird idea and they make it like that we've never seen in a game before, and they're like, all right, this is the new Zelda game. The game always, I won't say always. The game usually slaps.
Yeah, agreed. And
I'm not too fond of Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks. But for the most part, I find that like when Zelda games have like a central mechanic that's unusual that we've never seen before in a game,
right?
The game around it is always very good.
Yeah.
And I don't like Zelda 2, but I like that they started that design philosophy.
Yeah, I really like that they didn't just release Zelda 1 again. Because, like, listen, Mario 3, I think everyone, like, Mario 3 is one of the greatest video games of all time. But Mario 3, when you boil it right down to it, is just the original Super Mario Brothers pumped full of steroids. And then Super Mario World is just that again. You know what I mean? And like, I know there are people that criticize the Mario franchise for being too similar. And frankly, there are people that criticize the Zelda franchise for sticking to a formula a lot, which they kind of do. But
they kind of do, but I don't know. But it's not in the same way that maybe Call of Duty sticks to a formula, or Assassin's Creed sticks to a formula.
No, of course not. Especially in today's day and age, like the annualized titles are fucking. I mean, I like some of them, so I'm not going to shit on it. But obviously, that's a thing. But like, I really like the way that they tried something different, and frankly. Whether you think it worked or it didn't is beside the point. The original Legend of Zelda sold like fire and was a real big success, and people loved it and all that good stuff. And so when they decided to make the sequel, I think it's really ballsy that they were like, hey, we have this game that people loved. Let's not do it again, and let's go crazy and try something different. Like, I'm never gonna. I'll shit on a game for shit, you know, for not liking it or for things I think it does wrong. But I'm always gonna give a game props for trying something new. And I think that's really cool. And I think it's cool that they tried something like that. And I would love to see this. I love the magic system. I love the exploration. I like the combat. I like the fact that it's almost like an RPG Zelda. And I know, because I don't feel like, some people classify the Zelda games as RPGs. By and large, I don't. I think they're more action games than RPGs. But this one plays a lot like, it's almost like Final Fantasy Zelda. in some ways. And I would love to see them fucking just try this again and just balance it a little better. And just, I know I'm struggling to and I very rarely met a loss for words on this show, but like, I don't hate this game enough to shit on it, but I don't love this game enough to suck its dick. I don't know what to do with this fucking game. Such a weird fucking title.
It's a very bizarre one, and I think you pointed it out right off the top. It's absolutely like the black sheep of the because there's no real firm consensus on this game.
No, dude, I'm on the Wikipedia page right now, and the review scores 65, 4.5 stars, 3 stars, 36 out of 40, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. 70 out of 100, 91. So, like, nobody is giving it under, like, a 6 out of 10. But about half of the reviews are in that 6 to 7, and the other half are, like, that 9 up. And I can't figure out what about this game clicks with some people and makes other people hate it. The only thing I can kind of think of is the difficulty. And I don't think this is the hardest fucking NES game I've ever played. It's difficult. I do personally, that's what keeps it from being a 9 out of 10 for me, is I found it was very repetitive, and I thought that it took too long to figure out the patterns for it. But I also have talked about how much I like difficult games, and I love Battletoads, and I love the original Ninja Turtles. I love the Mega Man games. So it's not fair for me to sit here and shit on this game because it's too hard when I like hard video games. I think the difference is that I didn't find it fun enough to counterbalance the difficulty. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it didn't earn the time that you needed to put into it.
No. And I would like to, I don't know, we'll never know what the answer to this is, but I think a majority of the people that are fond of this game and love it probably grew up with it. Because I try to put myself in the 80s when I play a game from the NES, but like, we all know how far the Zelda series has come, and it is really hard to go back to this and look at it objectively, knowing how much better most of the games that come after it are.
No, and that is it's very challenging to try to play this game within the context of its time, because this came out, maybe 87, was it?
80, I had it here. Yeah. North America, 88. Yeah, Japan, 87.
88,
yeah.
That was the year I was born. Like, I was in...
Yeah, but you know what though? Like, so on one hand, I'm saying that like, it's easy to not shit on it for that, but on the other hand, it's like, Mario games hold up. And I mean, Castlevania 2 fucking sucks, but Castlevania 1 and 3 hold up, and Ninja Gaiden holds up. And I don't know. I mean, this game is Castlevania 2 for Zelda. I think it's, I'm sorry guys. I hope that you don't think this episode sucks. I've never been more stumped on a game than I fucking am with this one. I want to like it, but I don't. And
well, me too, but like, it's a Zelda game. I love Zelda games.
Yeah.
And then like playing this, like, I remember when you were like, hey, do you want to do Zelda 2? I was like, okay, I'm finally going to get through this game. And I got halfway through it, and I'm like, can't do more of this.
Yeah.
It's like eating an entire cheesecake in one sitting. It's like, this sounds like such a great idea. And you get halfway full through it, and you're just like, I hate this. This is disgusting.
That's gonna win the next month Patreon poll. Just Adam eats an entire cheesecake in one sitting and then talks about it. And
well, you know what? Fuck it. I'm way down to review that one too. If you need someone for that.
Yeah.
The one cool little Easter egg that I do like about this game, I know I've spent the whole time shitting on it, but one thing I do really like, and I guess this is more of a praise for Ocarina of Time than anything, but I love that the villages are retroactively named after the characters from Ocarina of Time.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah, like there was like the villages are all named after the 7 sages in Ocarina.
Oh, fuck. Wow. I never caught that. I don't know my Zelda.
So obviously the sages in Ocarina were named after the villages in this game, but it's like kind of just a cool little like retcon thing they did.
Wow. I didn't know. I had no idea. That's fucking really cool, actually. That's awesome. Just looking at screenshots of this game, I think the thing that really, maybe not the thing that turns me off the most about it is I like the exploration and the puzzle solving, and I also really like the combat screens, but I hate the way that it pulls you in and out. I don't care for that. I don't like the way that I'm walking around in the overworld. There's like this tiny little fairy looking thing. And then every time I touch a bad guy, it has to load up the combat screen, and then I fight enemies, and then it comes back. And I understand that's normal in like an RPG. Like, and oh God, thank fuck this game just doesn't have random encounters. It kind of does because they pop up at random and you have to dodge them. But like, if this game just had straight up random encounters where you're just walking and then it like, and then you have to go to like a combat scene, I would give this game like a 2 out of 10. I'd be.
But also, how does any game have random encounters after like this? Like this game was an NES game, and it showed that like you could have like random encounters without having random encounters, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But even like the original Zelda, I love that like I walk into a new part of the map and the enemies like and they show up and then I can decide what I want to do. Do I want to fight them? Do I want to move away? Whereas like in this one, it's like I gotta walk, like especially when I was grinding, I gotta walk around aimlessly on the map till the bad guys pop up, then try to walk into one of them. And it was I respect it for trying, man. But there's just what a weird fucking. I would love, you know what I would love to know, Mark? What would people think of this game if it wasn't Zelda? If this was just the Adventures of Fred.
This is called like, the Adventure of Fred.
And it was just a generic action game. And I
don't think people would be talking about it still. I think people would say it was a Zelda wannabe.
Yeah, I wonder.
And I think that like we would have long forgotten. Like the only reason people remember this is because it's part of the Zelda franchise, which of course is massive.
Yeah.
I don't know. This game is like the Ralph Wiggum diorama of the Zelda game. What's a playable video game? Zelda and Link and Ganondorf, they're all here.
Just I love that. I love that analogy. Yeah, like I'm reading the summations on the Wikipedia page and stuff, and like overwhelming people are like, sure, like it's good. It's a good NES game, and it is. Dude, there's a lot of like I refuse to put this game in the class of like the NES garbage. It's not garbage. But I just don't like it enough to put it in that fucking. It's like a C. This game is a hard like you know what? I feel like this game is the line now. Is a game better than Adventure of Link? Then it's good. Is a game worse than Adventure of Link? Then it's bad. It's like,
you know what? I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
I think I can agree with you on that one.
This has become. I feel like this game is kind of the official Remember the Game measuring stick, and this
is the true zero of like games.
Yeah, because like I just don't know what to think of this game, man. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. Like, I don't regret playing it. I'm glad I played it. I probably put 20 hours into it. I don't really have an urge to go back because of the repetition, because I know that like I'm going to die, and I know that when I do, I gotta fucking hoof it back to where I was, fight my way through the fucking dungeon again, or now I gotta go find this missing magical thing, whatever the fuck it is that I'm missing, and I don't know where it is, and I don't feel like looking it up, and I don't want to explore this world. I feel like this game was designed to be the only game you played for a while. Like it was designed to be like, this is the game you got for Christmas, and you're gonna put and I'll be honest with you, man. People that have wrote into the show about this game have said, when I was a kid, I played it over and over and over, and I figured it out. And I get why you probably would love it. Then I'm not doing that. I'm good. I've got my fill. I'm good. I'm almost frustrated by this episode because I don't know what I fucking think of this game. I feel like I have a dark Link, and there's Light Adam who's like, the game's not all bad, and there's Dark Adam who's like, this game fucking sucks, and we're fighting, but we both have the same 2 moves, so neither one's hitting a fucking anyway.
It's true. It's one of those games. There's so much that they did that was right about this game, just in terms of like world building and exploration and like like the end, like, and it looks so much better than the original, but then there's just so much that like didn't work or doesn't age well. So
you know what?
It's it's hard. It's hard to discount it because it does have that Nintendo polish, but it's behind a game that is so frustrating to play.
It's funny because like Link to the Past is my favorite Zelda, and obviously it's styled after the original Legend of Zelda with that top down, and I adore it. There is part of me that's like, what if they had styled the Link to the Past after this? Like, would it have because I will say I there are aspects of this game, the RPG style aspects, that some of them I like better than what the normal Zeldas do. So I'm like, fuck, what would Link to the Past have been like if they had decided to model it after this? Like, I think, frankly, for all of you that love this game, and we're going to score this thing and wrap it up, but I think that there's a reason Nintendo went back to the original Legend of Zelda art style and mechanics for Link to the Past and Link's Awakening as opposed to doing this. I think
that if they modeled this game after, or if they modeled Link to the Past after Zelda 2, it would have looked more like Link's Awakening.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Fuck. What a weird fucking game. All right, well, how the fuck are we even gonna score this? Fuck me.
This is a perfect true zero. This is the line. That's how you score it.
Yeah. You know what? I don't. Yeah. I'm gonna go with that.
Like if you're grading out of 10, it's an absolute 5.
Yeah.
It's not 5.1. It's not 4.9. It's absolute 5.
Yeah. I'm on board with that. we're not even gonna give it a number. We're gonna, you know what? And for you people that are diehard fans of this game, then I want you to know that, like, I don't hate it. This has become the measuring stick for which all other games will be mastered or put up against. And if you're better than this, you're going to get a good episode of the show. And if you're worse than this, Angry Adam's going to show his ugly face and scream into the microphone and do all that shit. Because, I'm going to wrap it up with the exact same thing I said off the beginning. It's too good to be bad, and it's too bad to be good. What a weird fucking game. But I'll be honest with you, man, it's been one that's been on my radar for a long time that I knew eventually we were gonna have to cover, and I wasn't sure what to think of it, and I still don't know what I think of it, but I feel better knowing that it's done. Do you know what I mean?
It felt therapeutic to talk it out.
Yeah, it did. And if this is your first ever episode of the podcast, everybody, which there probably will be, because I know we get some new listeners whenever we pop a new Zelda episode up. I don't think there's another episode of the podcast in the 155 previous episodes, because I think this will be episode 156. I don't think there's ever been an episode where I was less confident in my opinion of a game than I am this one. I don't know what a weird fucking game.
Very bizarre.
I'm done. Mark, listen, I know you're a huge Zelda fan. Now you can officially cross Zelda 2 off your list. Are there any Zeldas left that you haven't played yet? Other than the weird like CDI ones and shit?
The CDI ones I haven't played, and
they don't count. They're like Alaska and Hawaii. Like, those aren't really states.
I never finished Spirit Tracks.
Okay.
Or Phantom Hourglass.
But that's it, eh?
But like, I played them. I just didn't like them enough to get through them.
So this must feel good for you then, because you're done. You can put this one to bed. You have played Legend of Zelda: Adventure of Link, or Zelda.
I've played the whole collection now.
Oh, fuck, weird game. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot for doing this, man. I appreciate it. And
as always, thanks for having me.
When you actually open the doors to the Mark McHugh Hall of Fame, let me know, because I would like to sit across the street and just chant shit at you guys, because I'm not in it. So, all right?
Deal.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks for having me.
And that's going to do it for this week's episode. Mark, thank you so much for giving me a call, talking Zelda 2 with me, and every single one of you hot dogs right now. Thank you so much for listening to the show. I really appreciate it very, very much. If you're a huge Zelda 2 fan, I hope we weren't too hard on your game. If you hate Zelda 2, I hope that maybe we didn't Well, yeah, I'm not going to say, I don't know. It's one thing if you love a game and I come in here and shit on it, and I always feel kind of like, I hate it when people shit on my favorite game, so that sucks. But if you hate a game and then I come in here and say it's not that bad, same thing I did with Final Fantasy VIII, which I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Final Fantasy VIII does not deserve half the shit that it takes. Then I don't know. Keep hating, I guess. But I don't think it's that bad. I don't love this game, but I don't hate it. This, like we just said, this is the bar now. If it's worse than Zelda 2, it's a bad game. If it's better than Zelda 2, it's a good game. God, I would love to see this fucking game get remade so bad. And forget Skyward Sword. Remake fucking Zelda 2. So anyway, that'll do it. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you like the podcast and you want to support us and you want more, a lot more, consider signing up over on Patreon. Patreon.com/remember the game. It's very quick. It's fairly, I mean, their website kind of sucks, but the subscription the process of signing up doesn't suck too bad. And you'll get instant access to well over 100 podcasts. You can just download right onto your phone. Game Patch episodes, expansion pass episodes, game reviews, comedy, video game episodes, ranking lists. They're all over there. You can find the full list at rememberthegamepodcast.com, which is where you can also find our merch if you're interested. And it's where you can find our P.O. Box address. If you're interested, shoot me a letter or postcard. Let me know where you're listening. I'll send you a postcard back and we'll be friends. And follow me on Twitch. Remember the game, not remember. Remember the game on twitch.tv. It's completely free. It'll tell you when I'm online and you can come by and break my balls while I suck at video games in front of the world. That'll do it for this week's episode. We'll be back next week with episode 157, which, assuming we get the episode recorded between now and this time next week, will be all about Jet Set Radio for the Sega Dreamcast. I know, fucking Sega Dreamcast. What? Otherwise, it'll be about something else, but hopefully Jet Set Radio. All right? Thanks for listening, everybody. I will talk to you again soon. Cheers. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. We could not have grown the podcast like we have without all of your support, so I would like to take a moment to thank everyone that has supported us at patreon.com/rememberthegame. So a huge thank you to Dave, Makeshift Money, Joe Buck, Ben Drinkin, Sharonic, Andre, Stupid Monkey, Freezer Burnt, Tyler, Michael Mathis, Fake McHugh, Joshua Shenfield, Jeffrey Mathis, Shaylee, Keegs and his stupid arrow handle, Jin and Chris, James Clark, Sean Razine, Dave McGee, DNA Gaming, Joe Gillespie, Nathan Warzika, Ashley Cronenbitter, Ben Bulliu, Slick Rick, Evan Refuse, Doug Dorn, Chris Fleury, Josh Morgan, Scott V, Rex Sheldon, Andrew Wright, Gary C, Divalk, Luca, Kate Roberts, They Call Me Badger, Joe Mack, Desert Tortoise, Jordan, Dylan, Do Howe, Kevin Hufford, Jason Cortez, The Good Enough Gamer, Fraser Burns, Brian McKay, Alex Martinez, April Sane, Nick Sills, Vlad Steen, Kyle Paul, Mark 209, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Matt Brown, Ben Busha, Adam Anderson, Aaron Cuphall, Dan T, Dave Thompson, No One Cares, Mackenzie Wheeler, Brandon O'Brien, Chris Campbell, Chuck Schlarp, Wyman Brooks, Yamcha, Scott Brooks, Leon K, Jeff Johnson from Game on GNT, Adam O'Shirello, Dario Omen, Stitch, Aaron Lawson, Miklos Blackshaw, The T-Word, Michael Haig, Mr. Nick, Miles from BringBackRetro.com, White Burrow, Chris Knife 007, Nathan Tremblay, Mark Jones, A-Town, Andre S.J. Flash, Brian Medeiros, Tom Kite, Danny Vega, David Ray, Geek Life Radio, Morgan, Ryan Yeager, John Quack, Zane Donovan, Adam J, S2S, Jay Bear, Arpad Bodos, Ryan Kinchin, Tommy Reynolds, Mike Maloney, Christopher Russell, Ryan Bayshore, Retro Ghosty Ghost, X Water, Vincent L, Very Cool Dude, Jay Clutch, Starl Probin, Tim Riel, The Giraffe, Jared, PB McFadden, G9PSX, Tim L, Dominic S. Thompson, Martin Greenwood, David Schnatterer, Wolverine Films, Peebs, Silver Grunion, Mr. Satan, Raging Demon, Poops Loomis, 8-Bit Bubby, Pat Duddy, MPG in Buffalo, James Anderson, Amy Gillen, Dana Wucherall, That One Kid Nick, Potato Bob Guy, Mad Shibs, Mercury 869, Derek Jane, Rodrigo Tomazzi, Kelly, Jesse Clark, Pie Messiah, Sean Clifford, The Honest Pokemon Trader, Bracken Newcomb, Zoo Troy, M. Felf, A Novel Console, Kfabe 5150, Example Text, AJ Jones, AJ Freeman, JB Retromania, Freddie Martinez, Ferdy Martinez. I made it that far without screwing one up. Ferdy Martinez, Brian Robbins, Troy Zuniak, Brendan Hine, Boognish, Wolfgang Darren, Ninja Lunchbox 79, Mr. Meeseeks 0406, Derpamus Prime, Seriously Ron P, Sam Wright, Retro Bismol, Andy Hudson, John Byrne 86, Joshua Davis, Stephen Fukasawa, Thor the Hammered, Kinslayer, Rogue Agent, Jafar, McJr., Mega Man 2 OG, Good A, Goth C, Dane, Aaron Baker, Lord Finish, K-Jam, Electronic Emotions Program, Chris Copland, Spencer C. Weiss, Murat Pepper, Cody Poland, JMC, Logan Hale, Doogie, Matt McLean, Pizza Power, Super Nintendo Dudes, Nathan Freak, Mike Burks, Trevor Sevenoaks, Ryan McCowan, Kerry Wakawawa, Fob, Paul Zoe, Wolf Magic K21, Johnny CCDC, Joel LeBlond, Raul Aguilar. I worked at Subway, David Phillips, Corey Street, Gary Heather, Squints, John DeShazo, Tent Sparkster, Omega 88, Swedish Fish, Nathaniel Shelley, Explode Processing, Captain Cool, Tim Shambo, Joseph Gonzalez, Lee Spilling, Dan Wagner, Daniel McKee, Candido, K Cuz, Guest House Productions, Bones02, S2 Von 5000, Titan 420, Jose E. Marco, Seth Mayfield, Tom Calvert, Chris Freeman, Kyle Bolton, Scarlett, Zonko 504, Lee Sparks, A Sharp J, Oprah's Iron Fist, Tom Maya, Adam Ferrer, El Sock, Russell Aldridge, Chris Dory, Classic Crusade, Big G, Shannon Willis, Scott Roseberry, Karth from KOTOR, Sean Radford, Chance McCoy, Hammond Ager, Ronnie Sachs, Paul, Jeff Bergeron, Ian Watts, Dale Baker, Joe Kirby, Captain Ends Mega Man, Owen the Game, Furchuck, Super Dave, Plucky Beast, Matthew Day, Harmonies David, Game Nomad Messi, Tristan, Jerry Robinson, Emily Luna, Kenneth Michael Brown, Leigh Evans, Daniel Stidham, Nerdy Retro Gamer 86, Paul Holder, Darth Obvious, Master Boyd, Leon Nabskog, Trapper Keeper 1000, Daniel, Astro Alpaca, Rob Strothman, Ryan Groinus, Kaiser Dragon, PP Poo Poo Cuckoo Pants, Kyle Dodd, Jared Bushlin, Benjamin Johnson, Stu Bergeric, I suck at this. Eden Awaits 1981, Tunable Power, Borrow, The Gray Bearded One, Dan Taylor, Swanee, Hayes 87, Lukey Mull, Danny Proudfoot, Tom Danks, John Woodruff, Angel Cortez, Dusty Salad, Chris Meisner, Randy Barrage, Neo Nevis, Andy Spilling, Brian Spreitzer, Michael Clark, Inhuman Sumo, Chalupa Cabra, Thomas Simmons, Sean Byrne, Rocker Dude, Saskatchewan River Pirate, What Great Gaming, Mikey NL83, I Am the Mutt, Juga, Sony Kid Magazine, Brian Sherborne, Joseph Ciampetti, Adam Fisher. Oh my God, that's a lot of names, and I probably fucked up half of them. But thank you very much for the support, everybody. I really appreciate it. I'll record another one of these at the beginning of August, and I'm sure I'll screw up a bunch of your names again. But thank you guys. You're the best. Love you. Cheers.